What's up, people? It is the second edition of the Rush Rumble, and I'm still in the ring with Mikey Fresh and Zain Payne. We're gonna
1-0.
And Zain is 1-0. Gentlemen, the rules: I give you a topic, you're going to argue your point in 2 minutes, and I'm going to judge at the end of 2 minutes who has the better argument, better points, who I like better that moment. Okay, so. Gentlemen, the topic that we are going to talk about right now is one of my favorite topics to talk about because it gets everybody crazy, and that's one Saquon Barkley. Topic will be, do we trade Saquon Barkley or do we keep Saquon Barkley? Rock, paper, scissors, gentlemen. The who goes first? Here we go. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
1.
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh.
Tied up. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Lost again.
Fresh, you are up first. Your category is...
I guess there's no deferring here.
No deferring here for the second episode of Rush Rumble. I'm going to get my clock ready, and I'm going to give you the bell, and... Fresh, you are in favor of keeping Barkley. Zain, you are behind trading Barkley. I'm putting you on the clock, Fresh, in a second. This should be lots of fun. Fresh, you're on that clock.
Boom. All right, so you're keeping Barkley. He's under contract for the year, right? So got to make a decision on what to do with him. And here's the reason why you keep him. Here's several reasons why you keep him. Number one, what are the alternatives that you're going to get at that position that you're super excited about? Nobody wants to waste draft capital on a running back. You're not going to sign another expensive running back. Devontae Booker is decent at certain functions, but it's a two-back assist league anyway. So Saquon Barkley, we're not keeping him because we believe that he's going to be a dynamic player that he once was. If he is, then it's great. But the reasons you're keeping Saquon Barkley is because there's so much more that goes into keeping a guy in the locker room, like culture, like what he means to the other players, like what it is to be a professional, like how it is to stand up there and answer questions week after week when you're personally going through injuries and you're a little bit upset about it and the team is losing, and to be the face of a franchise and all of the things that come along with that and the responsibilities that you have and how you impact the other players around you by leading by example, by getting punched in the face 100 times and getting up and saying all the right things, not causing any issues, not having any off-the-field problems, and being a high-character individual. When a new regime and a new coach and a new GM come in, they usually bring in their own guys, even if they're not as talented, because they know about the character. With Barkley, you know what you're getting in the character. To keep him in the locker room will go a long way for the new regime in building what they're building, regardless of his production on the field.
15 seconds.
With that said, coming off several injuries, he's motivated more than ever, and it is a contract year. So anything that you get is a sprinkle on top if he's able to reach those dynamic heights. At worst, he's an injury-riddled, average back that has a phenomenal culture in the locker room.
Good job. Boo! Brought some heat. I like it. Oh, I'm getting thumbs down from Zain. Zain, I'm putting you on the clock. Zain, this is either going to be a 1-1 tie or you're going 2-0. I am putting you on the clock, Zain, for the second edition of the Rush Rumble. Gentlemen, the clock has started. Your topic is trading Saquon Barkley and why.
Let me just say the champ is here. Let's go 2-0. All right, Mikey Fresh made the argument for me. Injury riddled, not dynamic anymore. Were you arguing for him or trading him? Because I think you were doing my job. So let me talk about why I'm trading Saquon Barkley, okay? You talked about taking responsibility, culture, taking up the questions. 2 or 3 times, he wasn't even available for the media. Saquon Barkley didn't step up, did he? He didn't want to talk to people. He didn't want to answer why he just tippy toes and falls at the line of scrimmage, why he can't just go north to south and actually get a couple yards, why he tries to spin into contact, all right? Cap space, we got none. Trading him saves close to $8 million. He is now injury prone. You can put that label on him. You can absolutely put it, and it's lower leg for a running back who needs his ding, ding, lower legs, all right? Again, we're in a rebuild. Booker outproduced him in the same amount. They ended up with the same exact yards, 593, believe it or not. Same exact yards for both. Booker did it at a clip of 4.5 or 4.6 yards, and I believe Barkley did at 3.9. Barkley, who was supposed to be a dual threat, multiple drops, can't catch the ball now, right? Things are declining for him. I believe he is mentally just not here. I believe he's mentally affected as much as he is physically. So in that case, I'm ready to move on from him. It's not that he's not dynamic. Absolutely. I just don't think he's there anymore. So when it comes to losing culture, guess what? Giant culture have been losing for the past decade, except for 1 year when we bought a bunch of defensive guys. So what culture are we talking about? Shane's coming in. He's going to shake things up. And that's why I'm getting rid of Barkley. And that's all the time I need. Let's go. 2-0.
So you're deferring your last 16 seconds.
Don't even need it.
Okay. Wow.
I think a big piece is like what you're trading him for too.
Yeah. That's what I was going. That's where
I'll use my last 10 seconds.
Oh no, it's too late. You deferred.
No. I get a fourth round. I get a fourth rounder for easy. Teams want him.
You deferred.
Rumors are teams want him. Teams want him. Buffalo, Kansas City.
We don't make me put you on mute. All right, gentlemen. So really good points. I wrote down a couple things, for each of you, which was interesting. The most interesting thing that I thought of that Mikey Fresh said was he not only is he in a contract year, but he's a full now. He'll be 2 full seasons off in injury. And everyone says, you're never the same, that first year, unless you're Adrian Peterson, you're never, that guy that first year. So knowing it's a contract year, knowing he's like 2 years removed from ACL injury, I do think there's some motivation there. I think there's he did a lot of soul searching this year. And I think that he has his own internal, clock ticking if he's going to create the brand. Because here's the thing. There's a part of Barkley that the brand is bigger than the player, right? And there at some point that does this. One catches up, stays the same, or it passes by. Okay. You don't have a brand without a player. So I do like the fact that Fresh brought up all those points. The other thing is that I like that Fresh said was that a head coach has got so much to do. He wants to lean on some guys. You know what I mean? He wants to be like, man, I got Barkley here. I'm not going to have to worry about a lot of stuff in the locker room, because I'm up to here in the draft, free agency, head coach. Like they're going to need a rock in the locker room, and that's vocal and that can lead. And I think with a fresh coat of paint, new GM, new head coach, I think Barkley's going to feel a little invigorated. Okay. So I like the fact that Fresh says, look, the guy doesn't have any off-field problems. The guy doesn't, he does everything you ask him to do. And in an organization that loses a lot, I think a head coach is going to appreciate that. I don't think his first task is to turn around and trade off your number 1 draft pick from 2018. I don't know if that's high on his priority list. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And the pros are really good. Now, on Zane's side, the savings of $8 million smacks me right in the face. We have no cap room, right? The only thing I'm going to say, Zain, is this. I tweet this out all the time. The cap is voodoo. These guys find money every year. What do we say? We have no money. We have no money. We have no money. We turn
Kevin
up.
Abrams.
And guess what we do? We wind up with Adoree Jackson, Kenny Golladay. We re-sign a bunch of. They find the money. So us as the peons that we are, we're all freaking out about money that's not ours. And that $8 million sounds great. They'll find that money like They always do. Okay. You also, a lot of holes to fill for the New York Giants. Do you really want to make another hole? Like now you could trade them, right? Trade them. But then who's the running back? Now you've just added another box you need to check off for the new coach. Got to find a starting running back. Got to find a dual back. Am I gonna cut Booker? Like it's the same thing with the QB. Like, don't make problems that don't need to be there. Okay, like he's in a contract year. You want to tag him next year, fine. But right now, the least thing he wants to worry about is his quarterback and his running back. He's got to go sign his linebacker problems. He's got to go sign pass rush problems. He's got to figure out his offensive line problems. He's got to get staff, strength and conditioning. He's got so many things to do. To me, the last thing he wants to do is who's going to trade for a back that's had an up and down, roller coaster 4 years. Like, he's a good enough guy in the locker room. We know when he's healthy, and then that he's talented. The number one point I think that's here is we have not seen Saquon Barkley healthy behind a big offensive line. So the reason why I'm going with Fresh on this is because when we draft a bunch of offensive linemen, okay, and all of a sudden we got a healthy Barkley with a real offensive line, this cat may run for 1,400 yards. We don't know, because in 4 years he's been running behind journeyman and chumps that we pulled off the scrap pile. I mean, look, I'm sure they're all really nice guys, but I mean, we have the 32nd ranked offensive line guys. So for me, I'm going with Fresh because the money doesn't grab me. And I think that the head coach, the new coordinators, they're going to like the fact that they got a cornerstone in the locker room. And I actually think there's a little bit of interest level going, I wonder what he's like if we give him an offensive line and a great offensive scheme. I'm sure they're looking at him like he's not a misfit toy, that he just needs to have a new coat of paint and wind him up and let him go. So in the second Rush Rumble, the winner is Mikey Fresh. He is now 1-1, gentlemen. Till next time, thanks for tuning in. Peace out.